Hello there all you beautiful people and welcome to today's video. I am Daniel, friendly indie game Viking, and if you just clicked on this video searching for more information about Viking Vengeance, this roguelike dungeon crawler before you buy it, I promise you we'll talk about all the good stuff and also what places you can improve. Sound like fun? Then grab a cup with your favorite drink, mine is coffee for today, and let's watch the review. Okay, as he starts his story I just have to tell you my favorite Norse myth, and it's about when Brimmer steals Thor's hammer and demands Freya to marry him in exchange for the return of the hammer. Freya refuses and dresses Thor in a wedding gown and sends Loki as the bridesmaid. Thor eats and drinks and Loki have to excuse the bride's hunger. Later in the wedding ceremony they place the hammer in Thor's hand and he slays them, and him and Loki just go home and call it a day. But this man is a man with a grudge and a goal to wipe out all the Vikings. So it's time for one final crusade to wipe them all out. So how did you end up in this mess, you might wonder? Well, you're a Templar with the pagan origins who rediscovered his roots and learned to wield the power of the Norse gods in his quest to change the destiny of the people and stop Ragnarok. So just your average day in the land of Vikings. And if you are new to the term Ragnarok, it's in this context is the cataclysmic destruction of cosmos and everything in it, even the gods. Not the Thor movie or the upcoming God of War game.
See that the Vikings were nothing more than beasts put before us as a test from God.
So, time for character selection. You have a raider and you have an archer. Whatever suits your playstyle. Me, I'm more of a berserker, so give me an axe and hammer and let's party. And this is Ragnar Lodbrok, by the way, so he looks absolutely awesome. I warned you there will be consequences for refusing the one true god, your prayers to the false god. Well, hamming the Templar Sergeant means business, so let's see what he do. But basically, when you level up in Viking Vengeance afterwards, you can choose new skills, upgrades for old ones to suit your preferred playstyle, or new equipment, for instance. There's a lot of blood, as you can see, and the game works like you move about with the left mouse button, you hold shift to stand your ground and swing weapon like a windmill, right mouse button execute people, but for that you need to actually, let's see what this does. Oh, there you see, you can actually knock yourself with a tree, and that is just amazing. But it's a lot like Diablo 3 and Path of Exile, but this feels like a great task to tackle and perhaps a bit unfair to compare the both of them with that one, but a more simplified version with a lot of own content to offer the player. Fun fact, you can actually drown here if you walk out of the docks. Healing potions are green, strangely enough. That's for me that I've played these other dungeon crawlers a bit confusing, but red is for blood, green is for healing, and blood is used to pay off the Valkyries if you die. Okay, statues. Here you can pray and bring sacrifices to the gods to unlock alternate fighting styles and blessing. Each god is unique and will come with its own set of powers and ability. You can unlock the powers by filling up your devotion bar down to the right. The more you worship them, the faster your avatar form will level up, but neglecting one might anger the gods. The gods are not always reliable, but they can be pleased to improve your chances of receiving their help in battle by using certain equipment or passive runes. So basically, turn into the avatar of Thor and wield his hammer, use Loki's mischief skills or Odin's power to crush your enemies and wreak vengeance for your people. This is by far one of the coolest things I will show you later on in this review. The blacksmith. Like any other action RPG game like this, here is your new best friend, I can say. He can buy the items you have acquired. You can enhance your equipped weapons and armor, helmets, bracelets, and boots, of course, and you can sell him items like this. This one could be a bit smoother, but you have to drag and drop them, but you can only sell items, you cannot salvage them, like for instance in Diablo and things like that. So it's a tedious little work here, but there's also a merchant where you can buy potions and other stuff. Alright, so here we're going to show you something really interesting with the game. We have here a fight, and I'm trying to find a good placement, and of course my health will be too low. So corruption is real even in the afterlife. For the right price you will be able to negotiate your way out of Valhalla, because you bribe the corrupt Valkyrie with blood. Your option will be to reviving on the spot, as you can see, for the blood cost, or going back to your last save location. And here, of course, is a more devious foe actually called Death by Pop-Up. This can be turned off, but that auto thing here basically will kill you a lot of time if you don't turn this off, and I will show you why. So, what do you do when you can't pay the Valkyrie? You have to, of course, replay the whole way back from your last save checkpoint. Make sure that your devotion bar is filled, and now we'll see one of the most fun parts as we take on the bandit chief again, basically. It feels like one of the coolest thing, the morphing into Thor, since it feels like a rush of power and everything just explodes around you. One of the game's really strong game mechanics, by the way. And then basically you will eventually turn back into your weak self. But of course, as I mentioned before, it's not only Thor that you can morph into, it's also Loki and Odin eventually. So Loki is the one actually that cuts off Thor's wife's hair in one of the myths. It had to acquire a wig and other gifts for the gods, including Mjolnir, that was considered a bad hammer because of its short shaft. You can't hurt me or the tombs of our brave warriors, Viking. Our god is protecting us and nothing evil can touch me. I will show you the true faith. So, in this here good monk here is protected from our mere mortal form. So, it's a great place to show off what Loki actually can do. And here we go, Loki, god of mischief. So, as with Thor, this is equally powerful. And as you can see, they have huge amount of health and mana, so you can basically just run around and smack everyone in the head, and Loki has poisonous daggers that land on the ground and stay there. So, how about them runes? Besides these ones that you have to collect all 9 of them, that are the noble virtue runes, you have of course those who can help in battle. They are passives, they are temporary, and they can, for instance, increase critical hit rate, increase damage and poisonous damage, but there are temporary and static ones. Each class can execute enemies after their health reaches a certain threshold. Look at that, it looks beautiful. Executing enemies will either give you your health back or extra blood currency. And everything feels way more powerful in slow motion, at least for me, hence my liking for the director John Woo and his movies. So, let's talk about the good stuff and the room for improvements. It's about Vikings. If that's not enough, then okay, let's continue. It's a fresh take on the RPG dungeon crawler genre with exciting gameplay mechanics. Tipping trees on yourself or on the enemy, lure them into traps. I tipped more trees on myself than I dare to admit though. It's simpler than, for instance, playing Path of Exile to build your character and reset it and try new playstyles. They have a really dedicated team of devs that constantly make these improvements. And they also have ending game content called Fimbulwinter Challenges if you're interested in that. So, what are rooms for improvement though? There are some world collisions that need some tuning, some places you still can get stuck in the forest and have to restart from your last checkpoint. Pop-ups should never appear right in mid-battle, causing you to die, and should just wait to pop up until you are safe. Music is a bit uneven on some parts and have total silence when the track restarts. Price is a bit steep at the moment at $19.99 US for the game that perhaps should have worked much better and been in early access before it was released. But with all that considered, it's a fresh take on the roguelike dungeon crawler genre with some things to tweak to get that immersive, powerful Norse god kind of experience. But I really think that the devs will eventually pull this thing off and it's going to be a great game. But you know what? Let's not end this journey here. We talked about the story, the awesome gameplay, and that's soundtrack, and basically what you'll get if you decide to buy this game and play it. So to give you the chance to experience even more amazing indie games, I have added another video that I think that you will love to the upcoming end screen. So I will see you there, and until next time, stay safe and stay awesome.